Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for this exclusive webinar with the third Faculty of Medicine at Charles University. Today's webinar will be going on for 1 hour. In the first half, we will discuss about the university, and then we'll move on to the Q&A session where you'll be typing your questions and we'll be answering them for you. So today we have Dr. Marks, Ms. Mary, Ms. Teresa from the third faculty. And thank you all for joining once again. Over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon in your time. My name is David Marks. I'm a pediatrician by training, and my position here is the Vice Dean for Undergraduate Education and Student Affairs of the Third Faculty of Medicine, Charles University in Prague. You can also see two of my colleagues are responsible for both admissions and then processing the logistics of the admission and then assisting students in the first year. And that's Miss Maria Gassemi, the lady in white, and the lady in black is Miss Teresa Svobodna. And I'm going to introduce you our faculty, specifically the way we do teach medicine there. Also, now you should see the presentation. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to be a little bit more specific about the entrance exams. So this is Prague. Prague is capital of the Czech Republic. It's situated in the center of Europe. This is Prague Castle. Apart from that, Prague has many other interesting architectural jewels. Czech Republic is a member state of the European Union. That means that the diploma that was issued by Charles University is valid in all the countries in the world, including the United Arab Emirates. The validity in the European Union is straight away automatic. Some other countries require some administrative registration, but like credentialing, like credentials of Doctor of Medicine, it is valid worldwide. This is the university. This is the main building of the university, which was founded in 1348. And since then, it has had a Faculty of Medicine. This faculty has been divided into three. All three teach the same content of curriculum, the EU curriculum of medical doctor, but each one with a different approach. And I'm going to shortly explain what the approach to teaching medicine is at our medical school. You can see here the difference. It's more modern than the ancient building of the university, and this clicks pretty well with the modern approach to didactics of medicine. So the education the faculty provides is general medicine. The title is MD, which is the same as MBBS issued by the UK universities. I already mentioned that the diploma is recognized worldwide. The difference from the classic teaching curriculum is that we teach based on the US and UK medical curricula. It's a integrated problem-oriented learning, and I'm going to explain it more in depth later on. Each year, we have around 300 MD students altogether. 100 of them study in English. There's a vast spectrum of countries from which these students come. It's not only teaching medicine, but stimulating students to participate in research, those of them that are interested in research, and naturally participation in research is an extremely positive point for further employment, specifically in the United States and Western Europe. Students don't only study, there's a lot of free time. We have a very strong student body, both Czech and English. The older students support the younger ones as their coaches or co-tutors. but also there is a variety of student activities, social, artistic, or scientific, in which students do participate. Our faculty has the highest number of international student stays. So during the 6 years, students may choose to spend some time studying abroad in some of the universities or medical schools with which our faculty has contracts. And the last line is tuition fee. Tuition fee is in Czech crowns, 420,000 Czech crowns. It depends on the currency exchange rate of euro. Now it's a little bit less than 17,000. The entrance exams are held on site. There is a written test, 30 questions from biology and 30 questions from chemistry. There are some sample questions on our website. We stopped testing physics because it was obvious that there is no real relevance, and the results of the entrance exam test in physics that did not correlate with the further results of the students. Only one answer is correct in the test, and the pass rate into the second round is 35 correct answers. The second round, for those who have gotten at least 35 correct answers, is focused on an interview. It's a verb oral test. It's not a test, actually. It's an interview. First part, in the first part, students or applicants interpret the content of an article that they have the opportunity to read for some time before the interview itself. And then there is a discussion over an ethical dilemma, and naturally we are interested about the individual motivations. Following that, very soon, just the day of the test or the 1 or 2 days later, you get the results. And here is just basic information about the admission logistics. As I mentioned before, Ms. Kasemi, whose email you can see here, but also the Quadri agency has got all the contacts, is responsible to confirming your admission, for visa reasons if necessary, arranging accommodation in dormitories, not in private accommodation that you would have to arrange yourselves. In September, there is an initial 2-day retreat when students are put together to meet their future colleagues. There is a facultative, non-mandatory crash course of the Czech language as the basics, because the studies are in English, and students arrange Freshers Week. The last week of September is focused on meeting the site. You are shown the faculty, you are shown Prague, but again, it's for those who are interested. For everyone, the academic year starts the last September Monday, is the 29th of September. So about our curriculum, we have been inspired by the US from the European universities. It's Maastricht, Cambridge, and Munich. And the main principles are integration. So we teach subjects together. For instance, if you are taught in anatomy about the structure of the heart, the same time you are taught in physiology how heart works, and at the same time, the same week, you are taught in biochemistry how about the process of gas exchange in the lungs. Our students are meeting their patients pretty early in the first year. That's what we have copied, especially from the UK, when first-year students not only enter the hospitals to start training communication with patients, but also behavior in the hospitals, but also are assigned a patient during the summer of the first year. It's a long-term care patient, so either they spend this time in geriatric or long-term care institutions in their own country or in the Czech Republic, or it can be an outpatient whom they are to whom they are to supervise for 2 weeks. Another pillar of our teaching is medical ethics. Medical ethics is taught throughout 5 years, always in coordination with the clinical subjects or the theoretical subjects. So, for instance, in the second year, during anatomy lessons, students are taught ethics of behavior towards a dead body or organ transplants and body parts. Following that, if you are taught pediatrics, it's ethics for dealing with children and unsupervised minors. Another pillar is public health and medical law, not only local, but European and continental medical law. These are the subjects, and this is just an example of integration. In the first year, there is a large subject called Cellular Basis of Medicine, which incorporates biochemistry, immunology, genetics and molecular genetics and molecular biology, histology and embryology. It's a big subject. Students have 4 tests, partial tests during the year, and then a final one. Second year is focused on bigger view of the body. So we teach anatomy, physiology, histology, and biochemistry. Also, we do teach the subject where students meet patients. That's called Introduction to Clinical Medicine, and other smaller subjects such as Czech, Latin, medical ethics. And in the summer, there is this clinical placement. Frequently, applicants ask about the expectations of knowledge of the Czech language. That's not very high, just to gain some basic communication with patients. Your teachers, especially in the lower years, are there to interpret for you. And also we have very many students who speak English. So this is one of our classrooms for histology. After the first 2 years, the next 2 are more focused about how does the body look and how does it function if there is a disease. So there is a big integrated subject of pathology and pathophysiology. Microbiology is coupled with infectious diseases, so that it's not only theory, learning about the bugs, but also seeing patients who suffer a disease that was caused by one of those bugs. In medical imaging, the basic principles of X-ray, MRI, nuclear medicine are presented to the students. And we continue in the subject Introduction to Clinical Medicine by Clinical Propedeutics. In the third year specifically, students start to clerk patients, take history, perform physical assessment. And also the third and fourth year are the years where the majority of our students start seriously, those that are interested, start seriously participating in research activities. We do have students from around 80 countries in the world, and we do really stress integration not only of the subjects, but also of students amongst themselves. So we don't have a designated, for instance, a Norwegian study group or a German study group, but students are mixed to be in contact with each other, and also with the students in the Czech curriculum. The final 2 years are more similar to the traditional teaching of medicine, because those are clinical subjects and clinical rotations spent either in the Czech Republic, or if students are interested, they can spend the clinical rotations in their own country and come back only for exams. The final exams, as you can see here, are internal medicine, surgery, pediatrics, OBGYN, neuroscience, which is psychiatry and neurology together. That's one of the main research areas of our medical faculty, and also the National Institute of Mental Health is a part of the faculty. This is the Charles University Grand Hall, where the final celebration of issuing medical diplomas takes place. The statue here, that's Charles IV, the emperor that founded university. You can see students taking the oath. I spoke already about ethics. There's not only general ethics, but many topics of medical ethics, including research ethics for those that participate in human subject research projects. Apart from individuals arranging their own international placements worldwide, we have a structured cooperation with many universities in the European Union by Erasmus program, but also we have the Mobility Fund that supports financial students who want to spend some time, maybe in the summer or even during the academic year, studying outside Europe. The research, student research, is taken seriously. Many of our students do publish the results of their work already during their undergraduate studies. They present it once a year at the student research conference. I can't say enough about the fact that, for instance, if you are planning to start working in some of the highly prestigious medical institutions in Europe or overseas, participation in research is a very important factor that influences admission. That's why it's good to start thinking about it in the first year and start doing something in the second year. Studying medicine is not easy. We are very much focused on student support. Students in the first year are divided into study groups. Each study group has around 22 students, and there is a tutor, it's a member of the faculty, and a student tutor for each group that help them accommodate and also sort out any issues that can arise. It can be accommodation, visa, healthcare. As the only medical school in the Czech Republic, we have a non-stop SOS hotline where students can call at any time of the day and night. Mainly, we deal with healthcare issues, find them outside normal office hours, find them a place where they can take care of them if there is an emergency, but also administrative issues, accommodation or police, and psychological counseling. The faculty offers a designated GP for our English-speaking students. As I already mentioned, accommodation is arranged either in university dormitories. Here you can see a price range. Naturally, it depends on how high-level accommodation it is. Single rooms are more costly than shared rooms, or many students share flats and select private accommodation, which is a little bit more expensive, but it's a higher level of independence and sometimes quality too. So this is, for instance, one of my study groups when we were touring Prague. Our student union called TriMed is a strong one. It integrates Czech and English-speaking students. It's responsible for many activities. I just have some examples. As a welcome party for newly admitted students, many sport activities, social activities as a ball, We have a theater group, we have a two choirs and several music bands, but also we have student groups that perform supporting activities for patients, for instance, for pediatric patients. It's called Hospital for Teddy Bears, when they visit kindergartens and explain to children about what is it about to be hospitalized. One of our projects is a supporting project for victims of child abuse. Our students teach first aid in grade schools and in high schools around Prague. They also participate, it's called Medics in the Streets. There is a group of medical students that provide healthcare to homeless. Also participate in humanitarian activities in Kenya and Uganda in the higher years. So this is a picture of the initial retreat, which is held in September. Students are divided into groups so that they can make the first acquaintances and form a community which usually lasts 6 or more years. This is the welcome party. You can see admitting the student into our community. It's an artificial bone. This is the student ball. This is a Quidditch match. It's a Dean Sport Day, where there's a match in Quidditch, as in Harry Potter's. This is an example from our humanitarian activities in Africa. This is Kids University. You see small kids visit the university and we show them what does it mean, what is chemistry in this case, or what is anatomy. This is again a picture of the initial retreat. You can see the whole group, third of our student year there. So to finish with and to open the question and answer session, why should you join us? Well, first of all, because of the integrated studies that are as close as possible to modern medical teaching, but also as close as possible to the way physicians think about their patients. If you think about your patient, you don't first think about her from an anatomy perspective, then from a biochemical perspective, then from a histology perspective, but you integrate thinking about the patient. So it's good to train clinical decision-making in the future. The teaching is physiologic, meaning the first year is not so hard as in the traditional curriculum. We step by step increase the study pressure, so students have time to adapt and to learn how to study. There's a lot of international contacts, early exposure to clinical practice and to student research. We do have really a robust system of student support. I didn't mention we have a specific center for mental health in our faculty, where clinical psychologists and psychiatrists work to help deal with some adaptation problems, which are pretty normal. So you will never be feeling alone. You will never be alone. There will always be someone or something to support you. So I think that's basic must decision if you are thinking about studying medicine abroad, to come to the third faculty of medicine. I hope that this information has made sense, but now you have a lot of possibilities to ask questions online, send us emails, seek information on our website. Quadri Agency has got a lot of channels how to arrange contacts for you or provide you information. And now I think it's time to start asking questions.
Thank you very much, Professor Marks, for the detailed presentation. So let's begin with the Q&A session now. Students, as mentioned before, you can type your questions in the Q&A box. There should be a button at the center bottom of your screen. And before we begin that, so in the meantime, while they type the questions, I'm just going to include the entrance exam, the on-site entrance exam in Dubai, and our contact details in the chat box, so you can check that. First question is by Humera. What is the acceptance rate into the university?
Well, we admit around 100 students for the first year, and usually because we didn't pass deadline in the admission process yet, so the number of applications is around 400 to 500.
All right. Um,
So it's about
let's
1 to 5.
okay. Let's give our students a minute or two to type the questions. I think the presentation already had covered a lot of the points.
Let's wait, or if someone would like to speak up.
Okay. Question by Kihara. Do you have any scholarships?
Scholarships are based on, well, there are special scholarships for students who are active in sports. Those are really very generous scholarships. Otherwise, we do have scholarships based on your study results in the previous year, but those are not so high and don't cover your tuition or any other expenses. It's about 500 to 600 US dollars per year.
All right. Let me just check from the open questions.
None.
Okay, now we've got a couple pouring
Uh,
in. Again, question by Kihara. Accommodation is throughout the study years. Is it provided throughout the study years?
Yes, it is. Typically, students in the first year are willing to stay in dormitories, or their parents want them to stay in dormitories, and then they share flats. But the university provides dormitories for all students up to the very end of their studies. Yeah,
Okay.
I can see this.
There's a
Yeah.
there's a follow-up question by Waziha. How and where can we apply for dormitory applications to receive the contract to show to the Czech visa embassy?
Yeah, you will contact Miss Kasemi. Actually, the person that will be sending you confirmation about application is the person who will then, if needed, arrange accommodation and send you confirmation.
Okay. Question by Hafsa. Do they need to know the Czech language for clinical placements?
Well, for the clinical placements in the upper years, yes, but you will learn by then. In the lower years, no, we select specifically either institutions where interpretation is available, or patients who either do speak English or they don't speak at all, because maybe based on your health state, they're not able to communicate.
Okay. Question by Shaima. What kind of modules did the university teach, and how many tries can the student take if they fail in the first try?
Oh, yeah. So I described a first year module that's called Cellular Basis of Medicine, and it incorporates biochemistry, molecular genetics, immunology, histology, and embryology into one module and one exam. And if students fail, they can take 2 more attempts, so 3 altogether. And if they fail a year, they have the opportunity to repeat the year and get another 3 attempts, so 6 altogether. But usually students are pretty smart and they finish the first year.
Okay. Question by Mayar. Do you provide any postgraduate programs after the graduation?
We provide a lot of PhD programs for research. For clinical specialty, that's not provided by the universities in the Czech Republic. Those are hospitals. And yes, you can participate in them. However, if you are planning for that, you have to start studying Czech much more seriously than for the study reasons.
All right. Adam has two questions. Is IELTS required? And the second one, is there any additional requirements for admission, like volunteer jobs or extra activities?
No IELTS is required, and there are not additional requirements for admission. However, proof of volunteer jobs or extra activities are something that can play a role in assessing your motivation to study, but it's not obligatory.
Okay. Question by Hafsa. What is the difference between third faculty and the other faculties?
Well, the main difference is the way of teaching. As I said before, it's integrated problem-oriented teaching close to Western European universities, specifically the Anglo-Saxon ones. And also it's the sort of step-by-step increase of study pressure, so it helps you to accommodate better.
All right. Question by Ramisha. How can the parents get visa if they want to visit the university?
Via the embassy. You just can get a certification that your son or daughter are studying, and then it's the Czech embassy's responsibility to consider this during the process.
No, I would just
Uh-huh.
like to clarify this point that that you will be applying for a Schengen visa while your son or daughter will be applying for a long-term visa. So I mean both the visas are different. Okay, applying for the visa based on your daughter's admission cannot guarantee that you will get a visa, because the final decision will be depending on the visa officer. However, this can help you, but there is no way that anybody can guarantee that if your son and daughter can get admission, you will get a visa. No, so you have to complete all the formalities of the visa. No, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Um, Question by Abdurrahman. Can the graduate specialize in any field of internal medicine or surgical?
Yes, any medical field.
Okay. Raneem is asking, can study surgery after the 6-year MD program in English in Charles University third faculty?
Yeah, you can specialize in surgery if you are, I'm not sure if it means if you can specialize in surgery, yes. But if you can specialize in surgery in the Czech Republic and continue in English, no. The clinical specialization programs are only held in the local languages.
Okay. Mustafa is asking, what about the internships?
That's again, the 6th year is sort of like an internship year. It's like F1 year in the British system. The real clinical internship following that is a part of specialty.
Okay. Malik is asking, is there any factor that affects the acceptance rate?
Just the quality of the applicants.
I would just like to clarify that the university does not need any kind of IELTS, TOEFL score, predicted grades, personal statement, recommendation letter. So if if you are a topper here and if you don't pass the entrance examination, they will not accept you. If you get maybe BB, CC grade, but you pass the exam, they will accept you. So it means entrance examination is the key. Everybody has to pass the entrance examination. I mean, it doesn't matter that you are a topper in your school or in your country. If you don't pass the exam, they will not accept you. Thank you.
All right. Question by Humaira. Is booking a term exam slot difficult, as she has read online that students cannot get slots for the exam and aren't able to pass the semester? Could you confirm if this is true or not?
No, this is not true, especially in the first 2 years. And the tests are written, so it's always the whole year writing at the same time the test, so there's nothing about booking. In the higher years, when the tests are oral, there is always at least 150% slots open.
Okay. Humaira is also asking, what documents are required for notification?
You mean for nostrification of, if you mean for your high school diplomas, then the high school diplomas transcript of your notarized diploma of your high school with the description of the subjects.
All right. Question by Adam. Does the faculty have a neurosurgery specialization after graduation?
Any medical specialty can be undertaken in the Czech Republic, including neurosurgery, but that is not anymore the responsibility of the university. Specialization training is hospital-based.
Okay. Question by Shaima. Is studying dentistry is as hard as studying medicine?
We do not teach dentistry at our university, at our faculty.
Waziha is asking, is the clinical specialization programs to specialize into the surgery equivalent to a residency?
Yes.
Okay. Question by Humera. What is the difficulty level of the entrance exam?
I don't understand the question. How do you mean difficulty level? So as I said before, usually it's about 1/5 of the applicants will succeed. So the difficulty level is, or the requirements are on the standard level of high school teaching of those subjects.
Okay. Malik is asking, what percentage do they have to get into the first year?
To be admitted, you have to gain at least 35 correct answers in the test, and then you have to gain success rate in the interview, which is over 2/3, so 66.
Uh, I think he is asking about the high school percentage. Okay, as I mentioned that high school percentage does not matter. You have to pass your high school. The most important part is to pass the entrance examination. So even if you get a low percentage in your high school, but if you pass the entrance examination, they'll accept you. As long as you don't fail in your high school, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Mm.
Clarification.
Question by Abdurrahman. How many times can he attempt the entrance exams for this year?
Once.
Maya is asking for the higher grades regarding the exams. Will they be oral or only written?
It's a mix. It's a mix, and some of the exams are combined, part of it oral, part of it written.
Okay, so I think that answers Maya's next question as well. Zayan is asking, are specialization courses available in English as well?
No, only PhD studies.
Okay, Malik is saying, this is a follow-up question. Do we need to get 35 out of 40 for each subject?
There is 60 questions, not 40. So it's 60 questions altogether, 30 in biology, 30 in chemistry, and altogether at least 35 correct answers from the 60, so from both subjects.
Okay. There are no written questions, but let's give our students a minute or two. And if there are no open questions, of course, as I have already mentioned, our contact details in the chat. So you can always contact us and regarding the entrance exam, if you'd like to apply, the email and the contact number is mentioned. Okay.
Uh,
Question
uh,
by yeah.
I would just like to add one thing that the entrance examination will be held on this April 19, and today was supposed to be the deadline, but the dean has extended till tomorrow. So till tomorrow you have to submit the application in order to sit for the exam. No, so please, if you want to sit for the exam, apply by tomorrow maximum, or try to apply by today. No. Okay, thank you.
All right. One more question, Abdul Rahman. Maths or physics, are they optional for the entrance exam?
Oh, only biology and chemistry.
Okay. Malik is asking, what is the best way to prepare for the written exam?
Apart from studying biology and chemistry at your high school, please have a look at the sample tests or sample questions at our website.
All right. Okay, I think if there are no more open questions, then maybe this is where we can end the session. Once again, if there's anything else needed, you can
Oh, yeah,
contact
there's
us.
another. What is
Yes, more of a question. Okay. Ramin is asking, what is the score needed to pass the exam?
again? You have to 35 correct answers and for 66% altogether. No required high school results.
All right. I think that this is where we can end the session. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Professor Marks, Ms. Mary,
Thank
and Mr.
thank
Paul.
you, and I'm looking forward to see you all in April. Bye.
Thank you, Professor Marks, and thank you, Mary and Teresa for joining, and thanks all the students for joining us. No, see you some of them there. Thank
See
you.
you. Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.